stories. Guys, I saw something, I guess it's early in the week, several days ago. Army recruitment. Guys, this hit home with me, and it just hurts. It hurts beyond belief. You guys know that I'm a retired Army colonel. I spent almost 30 years, 28 years to be exact, serving our country, serving in the Army. And there is nobody on this planet that loves the Army more than I did. And the Army was so good to me, and it took me to a place that I never would have got to be without the Army. And I just thank God every day for my time and my 28 years, even though I had some really tough times in the Army. It was such a blessing, and the Army has been such a blessing to so many. And when I read about some of these recruiting challenges, not even challenges, I intentionally use the word disaster. But if you look at this is just, it breaks my heart, and it's horrible. And it doesn't have to be this way. This is what makes me so mad. According to the American Military News, now they're pretty good site, guys. I watch them a lot, just not only for recruiting news, but it talks about technology. You can see a lot of things going on in Ukraine, and a lot of the news when we have a general officer moves or admiral moves is pretty good source. But the U.S. Army is according to the American Military News that I'm quoting here, the U.S. Army is expected to miss this year's recruiting goal. Now, Army Chief of Staff James McConville said this week that he's going to be about 10,000 recruits short. Now, they've kind of wordsmithed this a little bit for the 22 fiscal year next month, and I'm going to kind of put this in perspective. McConville did a interview on CBS News, and initially it's 16% of its 60,000 recruit goal. But when you pare everything back, guys, here's the bottom line: we were about 52% short of their first recruiting goal. Let that sink in. 52%. Now, 52%. So. Guys, this is an unmitigated strategic disaster for our country. If we don't get this ship sailing the right way and get this fixed, it's going to be consequential for our country. Now, McConville said that the 10,000 recruiting shortfall is down because they changed the measuring stick on it. It went from 485 to 476 in July. Joseph Martin talked about Army Chief, or Vice, who's General Joe Martin, talked about that number being down to 466,000. Now, I'm just going to tell you guys, this is going to, I don't know, and this comes with the backdrop that we just hired, 90,000 or 87,000 IRS agents, okay? And here's what I'll tell you: the when you look at the original shortfall of the revised goal, it's significant. And that's what I told you. Now, McConville in a news article that he did, he predicted. He said we would have a shortfall, but he also said we haven't seen one like this in recent memory. Let me tell you something, guys. Recent memory. I don't see ever a time in my lifetime we have ever been this short, ever. Now, the Army Secretary Christine Wormuth told NBC News, according to American Military News, that the Army, she said the more accurate quote, 52% of its recruiting goal for the year. The Army only completed 52% of its recruiting goal. Now, it's really unclear exactly what it is, but I'll tell you this, guys. There are a whole lot of things that went into this, and of course the General McConville or the Army Secretary or General Milley, they're not going to tell you the truth in this. They're just not. They know what it is. They know why we're not making mission. They know why we're not making our numbers. And one of the first things they came up with, it's the impact of COVID-19 on in-school attendance. Yeah, it's challenged recruiters. This is according to McConville and the American Military News. Low unemployment rates. We had really low unemployment rates too, guys, in 2019, but recruiting was through the roof. Okay, and you see that. Another problem of according to the Army, and this was a problem when I was in. When you look at the recruiting age from 17 to 24, there are so many that don't meet the standard, and that's true. Everything the Army's saying here is true. When I was in the Army at that time, 10 years ago, and working a problem for the field artillery at the proponent office, a similar problem. It was about 4 out of 10 only qualified for military service. That was not good. But today, guys, it's about 2 out of 10. So what I'm saying here is the recruits that are between 17 and 24, only 2 out of 10 even qualify. But here's the problem. Here's the problem for the Army. Everybody else is recruiting for those same 2 guys or 2 gals. Okay. Now the Army's considered some other things about maybe waiving the GED requirements, waiving the high school diploma requirements. But here's the bottom line, guys, and here's what they're not telling you. For centuries, there is a demographic that has always won wars for whatever country. You could go back to the Roman times, or you can go back to Thucydides and Spartan and Athens, and you saw the back with the Greeks, and you can go back to Roman times, and you could go back to the Revolutionary War. Okay, there's one demographic that you've got to keep in your ranks. Because I don't care, what the social order of the day. There's one demographic that wins, and I will tell you, in this demographic, I'm gonna show you. It doesn't matter what your race is. Okay, it has nothing to do with race. But here's what it has to do with. They're young, and when I talk young, they're between 18 and 23. They're male. They're unmarried, and they're slightly hacked off. If you can get that group of young males to be in the Army or your military, you're going to win wars. And that's just that demographic has been winning wars for literally thousands of years. But we have changed this now in the 21st century. Let's go back to what the reasons are. Milley and McConville and Austin, they won't tell you this, but in their office, I guarantee you they're talking about this privately. Let's just start with here. Let's just start with the stupid woke commercials they did back in January and February, where you saw these cartoons and you had every social order of 2022 was in there. You had all the flags, you had everything else, you had everything but the Army and what it takes to get that demographic that I talked about that wins wars for you. So we were trying to recruit maybe a 2% of the population from the LGBTQ community, people that has had gender changes, okay, all that. We spent millions and millions and millions of dollars targeting that demographic. Okay, this is what the Army did. And in the process, what we did was we drove away about 30% of the other available pool of that 2 out of 10. But it's not just the commercials, guys. It's the policies. Yeah. When grown men can identify as a woman and then say, you know what, I'm a woman today. I feel more comfortable if if I slept in the women's barracks, I took showers with the female soldiers, and I hung out with them. Okay? And you know what's happening, guys? I'll just tell you what's happening. Moms and dads are saying no. They don't want their kids exposed to this. We have lost their confidence. And here's the thing. And then the same thing and vice versa. You have ladies identifying as men. They want to hang out in the men's barracks. They want to shower and go to the men's bathroom. Okay, I got it. But see, this is what happens when you use a social construct for the military instead to fight and win our wars. Now, what's happening is moms and dads are saying no. They're saying no to get that demographic that we need to fight and win our wars. And we've been doing this for a couple of days, guys. I'll just tell you that Milley and McConville and Austin, they know this. They know this. The other reason is, the third reason is the Afghanistan fiasco. Guys, that was horrible last year. You saw it. And so you have such a lack of confidence in the Biden administration, and also General Milley, and also Secretary Austin. I served with Secretary Austin briefly, and this is not the man that I saw I served with as a one-star general. It's different, totally different person now. He's a SecDef, but I mean, I can't believe some of the things that he's allowed to happen in the Army or in the defense or DOD. So you have this lack of confidence in the Biden administration and Austin and Milley. But if you look at it from the Biden administration, guys, this is the worst foreign policy disaster. It's really worse than Jimmy Carter. You guys know that. It's worse than Jimmy Carter. I mean, I didn't think I would ever say that in my lifetime, that you would have a president that was strategically inept, because I'll just tell you guys, the lack of strategic sophistication coming from this old soldier and watching this in the Biden administration, frankly, amazes me. But the other reason is COVID did have an impact, but not for the reasons the Army's stating. Here's what's just crazy, guys, and it's not just affecting the Army; it's affecting it's affecting the Navy, it's affecting all the services. The Army has issued 3,251 reprimands. Okay, 1,700 service members across the Navy and the Marine Corps and Air Force have been discharged. Now, here's the thing, guys. Now the Navy is offering these insane bonuses for people to come back in the Navy. Not the ones they just chaptered or the ones they just discharged. Okay? The Army, this is how desperate the Army is right now. They are offering 50,000 quick ship bonuses. That means if a kid's eligible, whoever, they're eligible to go to basic training and their advanced individual training, the Army will write them a check for $50,000 and put it in their bank account and send them. Think about that, guys. Now, the other thing that's really gonna affect this now is Biden's brilliant idea to cancel all the student loan debt. Because just like for me, folks, the Army put me in a different socioeconomic class. I was a young kid, didn't have much when my wife and I started. We were working 3 jobs. I was working 3, she was working 2, and we didn't have a lot. But the Army put us in a different category. I was able to get the GI Bill. I was able to do things that I never would have got to do without the Army. And this is going to just absolutely take away one of the greatest enablers to go serve. Making the college now, we're just going to wipe that off. I just want you to think about that, guys. You know, you had so many Navy SEALs that are trying to challenge this, and they need these guys back. This is going to be something to watch, folks. It hurts me, and I'm upset about it. But we've got to pray for our country. We've got to pray hard for our country, and especially our armed forces. These kids don't have anything to do. The soldiers and the commanders, the captains, the majors, the lieutenant colonels, the colonels. They're just out there serving, guys. They're servants to their masters, and we are inept at the strategic and the operational level, just totally inept. And really at the strategic level, operational level, we've still got a lot of good men and women serving. But I'll tell you guys, we've got to pray for them.